Hi, Tampa Native Show fans. Mario Nunez here, and we're inside the Tampa Firefighters Museum. What an interesting place this is. Look, I've got my helmet on, my bucket in hand. I'm ready to go fight some fires. This week's show is all about Tampa firefighting history. Let me show you real quickly. That uniform you see right there worn by that firefighter is a heavy canvas. Corduroy collar, he's armed with nothing more than an axe. That's probably a uniform that your parents and grandparents would be familiar with. And if you look at this one here, it's more modern day. Fire resistant, not fire retardant. He's got his breathing apparatus and, of course, his hose. No responsible firefighter is going to go in to fight a fire without that hose. But listen, we've got so much more today on this show. We're honoring all those brave men and women that served so admirably right here at Tampa Firefighters Museum. Stay tuned. Don't go away.
I remember Tampa, the way she used to be, the places we would run to, the faces we would see. Yes, I remember Tampa, her sweet, soft memories, a city rising on the move, a simple yet progressive groove. Yes, I remember Tampa, she remembers me.
Hello and welcome to the Tampa Native Show. Stay tuned now for the most entertaining webcast from the studios at Tampa Digital in Ybor City, Florida. Join your hosts Mario Nunez, Steve Canella, and the 15-Minute Girl as they celebrate growing up in Tampa. From Shock Armstrong to Shakey's Pizza, from Braddock Street to Buffalo Avenue. Get ready to call in and tell us your stories, because sharing your memories has never been this much fun. And now, Mario Nunez and Steve Canella.
She remembers me.
Welcome back, everybody, to the third week of our brand new season at the Tampa Native Show. My name is Mario Nunez, and I'm seated alongside my broadcast partner.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Steve Canella. Thanks so much for being here tonight. And Marius, I think it's safe to say that tonight is going to be a really hot show.
On fire, if you know what we're saying. Because listen, we've got the 15-Minute Girl just off camera. Say hello, everybody, to everybody, darling.
Hello, everybody.
We're going to have an excellent, excellent show brought to you here at the Tampa Firefighters Museum. Listen, we did a little bit of pre-work yesterday. You saw some of that roll just before we went on the air. We've got lots more of that coming up. So stay tuned. Don't go away. Everybody hard by your laptops and your iPads and your iPhone, because we want you paying attention tonight. Listen, we know we're up against World Series Game 1. We know we're up against Carlos Mencina, who's just down the street at the Tampa Improv, but we don't want you to go away because we've got plenty of good stuff. Stevie, you want to tell them who our special guest is going to be in just a little while?
Well, we're very excited to have our very special guest, Jamie Urso, retired from the Tampa Fire Department.
Yes.
We're so excited to have him on here. And in fact, he's got a lot of information. We've got a lot of pictures to show you tonight. He's going to help back us up with the history on those photos, and it's just going to be an incredible show.
And we want you to pay special close attention, because the truth of the matter is there's some of the photos coming up now. Between Jamie and myself, we both talk very fast. So if you think that you're listening to another broadcast, no, it's just me and Jamie doing what we do. Listen, this first photograph right off the bat is an exquisite photo, an example of what our firefighters used to have to go up against. This is the Great Fire of Ybor City's 1908.
You know, Mark, we have 4 photos in a row that relate to this particular fire. And interesting story, it started on the roof of a boarding house at 1914 12th Avenue, Ybor City.
I mean, dramatic photos. You can see there the black, acrid smoke. I mean, everything you can imagine. 200 cigar factories in the city of Tampa at the time. Every structure made of wood. And when a fire bell rang, everybody knew, grab a bucket, that bucket that you saw me with in the beginning of the show, let's go, we've got to go fight this fire, because everybody's lives were at stake and everybody was connected.
And it was such a devastating fire, it burned over 55 acres, if you can believe it, right in the heart of Ybor City.
I think the next picture shows an illustration of just how devastating the fire was.
That was a cigar factory, one of the places that got burned. It was many businesses were burned down, 100 homes were burned. But 55 acres, the fire destruction, covered.
You weren't kidding when you said tonight's show was going to be hot.
Yes, yes.
We want to remind everybody, when you do make your phone calls in just a little while, when Jamie joins us, we're going to go to the phone lines. You know how we do. We take phone calls. Sharing your memories has never been this much fun, as we say, but we also want you to share your bolita numbers, because We're going to do a
right.
drawing a little bit later on. Also, tell us your sponsor of the week. We want to make sure you get those sponsors. We have a drawing, a little giveaway later on with your with involving sponsor of the week and
Question of the week.
the question of the Stevie.
That's
Tell them
right.
what that question of the week
Well, the
is.
question of the week is, what is your favorite? Riding the tailboard or driving the tiller? Mara, what's the tiller?
I don't even know, but Jamie's going to explain that to us in a little while. Actually, the tiller was one of the things that as a little kid you always marveled because it was fascinating to me to watch the hook and ladder driver, the tail end of that big ladder, having to always manipulate that wheel in the back, and that's what's called driving the tiller, to negotiate the downtown streets.
That's got to be hard to do.
Well, you know, he's always got to be turning opposite. And Jamie's going to be able to explain that to us when he gets here. So, question of the day, riding the tailboard hanging on the back,
Right.
or driving the tiller. Check out this picture here, Steve. Tell
Look
us
at
a little
this.
bit about this.
Well, this is a 1919, and it's a pumper truck. And so you can see the size of the hoses they have here. And what's really incredible, too, I think that was right at the beginning when they started coming out with the pneumatic air or pneumatic tires. And I think you'll see a couple pictures coming up on that as well. But incredible pictures. Here, this is the actual fire department.
This
right
is
here.
the building
Yeah,
that we're
this
in
is it.
currently.
720
720 Zack Street. It's,
Right.
it's you know, this building has gone through tremendous changes over
it
the
has.
years, as one could expect. We were told yesterday in doing some research for the show that every time they got a new piece of equipment, they would have to literally relocate the pole. You know, that famous fireman's pole that they
Right.
would have to slide down before they jumped into the trucks to go fight a fire. They would have to literally relocate the pole because each piece of apparatus, each new piece of equipment would tend to create a little bit of a backlog here, and consequently they have to change the location of the pole. Fascinating stuff that we learned. We're going to go to
Wow,
our
the
phones in just a little. Oh, the history here
It's
is
incredible.
amazing. When Jamie joins us in just a little bit, he'll be able to share more of that with you.
Let's
because
give him that
after
phone
all,
number.
he lived this and he worked out of this building. There
Right.
is a fire station just adjacent across the street. That's fire station number 1, downtown Tampa,
Right.
which was where these gentlemen that were housed here relocated to. History and nostalgia, to say the least.
Guys,
Yes, darling.
hello. We have Angelo
Rumori?
Rumori on,
Angelo?
and he says, "Hey guys, my son-in-law Joe Skanks is a firefighter in Pasco County, and our whole family is proud of him."
Shout
Wow,
out to Joe.
that is
Thank
awesome.
you, Joe.
And Michael White's on, Michael McCall is on, Connie Wright Hodge is on.
Oh,
Hi,
nice.
Connie. Great to
And
have you
everybody
with us.
so
lot of our
far is
fans.
saying that they can see it pretty
See
good.
us and hear us
Yeah.
pretty good?
Yeah.
So far, so good.
So we're good.
We're off to a tremendous start, and we like to hear that. We'll get a chance to go to the phones in just a little bit, and then, of course, from there, we're off and running. So if you're tempted to turn the dial, as it were, you know, you don't have to. Because you can have your TV over here and you can have your laptop right there. So you can have your cake and eat it too, as it were. And you might want to
Literally.
tonight because you're going to see some things and hear some things that are going to be pretty exciting.
How about this photo? Look at this.
Wow. We talked about this in pre-production. What fascinates me about this photograph is they had to work out the logistics on who was going to be on the top of that ladder, just how far the ladder had to be pitched to be able to handle the weight of 7 grown men without some kind of a calamity happening. But again, showing off the equipment of the day, 1921 Tampa Fire Department headquarters ladder. And you can see, I mean, that's probably pretty much state of the art for what was going on back in 1921.
And for that photo, they had to angle everything just right for all those guys on the top of the ladder. This photo here is very interesting. In fact, I'm going to read a little bit about this.
Please do.
This is submitted through Suzanne Jones Trask, who I went to high school with.
Dear friend.
Yeah,
tell
she
us,
did
Suzanne.
this a while back on Facebook,
Sure.
actually. Well, as it turns out, her great-grandfather's in this photo. In fact, she knows the names of every fireman in this photo. And I'll go ahead and read what she wrote. She
Go
wrote,
ahead.
"Station was located at Main Street in Albany.
In West Tampa?
In West Tampa, but the gentleman with his hand on the wheel is Akla Giles, the guy with his hand on the wheels,
Mm-hmm.
the fireman. To his right is Lorenzo Nails. Beside him is Eugene Campanilla Romera.
Mm-hmm.
And Jamie, I'm sure he can back this up too with all the names. He probably knows them all in this picture. At farthest right is Enrique Cien Pesos Sanchos. I don't know why they called him $100, but that was his nickname,
Love
Cien
it.
Pesos.
Love it. Probably because he always carried one with him for good
Maybe
luck.
that's it. Behind them are, from left to right, Rafael Acosta, Jr., Captain Joe Gonzalez, father of former Tampa Police Chief Eduardo Gonzalez, and Julius J. Jones, a.k.a. Pawpaw, which is Suzanne's grandfather.
Suzanne's grandfather or
Yeah,
great-grandfather?
or great-grandfather.
Great-grandfather, which
But that's amazing.
gives you a little indication of just how long the
Yeah.
Jones family has been in Tampa.
Right, right.
And Suzanne should be very, very proud because, to be honest with you, that's a wonderful legacy. And that picture is a tribute And there are pictures like that throughout this museum, by the way.
really is.
So, you know, if you get a chance and you happen to have some time on your hands and you haven't been down here to kind of walk through here, you really should. They've got a gift shop where you can get little gifts if you're
Yes,
sorry for
I think there's a great gift for
Oh,
the
darling,
ladies.
do you have something that you want to share with us now?
Yes, I have this wonderful
Find your camera, love.
firefighter
There it is.
calendar with some hot bodies in there.
Whoa, hey! I
So
don't
come
know.
on down and get yourself one.
Well, we're off to
They're all just, one page is just as good as the next.
Yeah, Steve wasn't kidding, huh? When he was
Wow.
talking about this.
It's gonna be a hot topic, I told you.
Pretty good stuff, pretty good stuff. So you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a great show lined up for you. I want you to go ahead and stay there with us while we...
Hey, also,
we get
let me
moving.
just
Yes,
say
darling,
that
yes.
Manny Mendoza is watching in Texas, in Dallas, and we have another lady who's watching from San Antonio, Emily Salcinis Rogers.
Well, hey, we love our
Right.
out-of-town... Yes, we love
Yeah,
our
that's
out-of-town
great.
viewers. If you're out there and you're having a watch party, because we encouraged you last week at the end of the show, get your groups of people together. If you're
Right.
having a watch party, now's the time. Get your iPhone out, your digital camera out, take a photograph. Make sure you include the laptop in there so that a little proof of life. Make sure that you've got that in there with you and send that to us because we're going to be here for the next hour and 10 minutes or so, and we'd like to be able to show that to our viewers, and that would be wonderful. Thank you guys for being out there and watching us. Hey,
That is awesome.
we've got so much more coming up. Right there, we'll be right back after this little break. Stay tuned.
Hi, we're the Tampa natives.
Welcome to our show.
I remember Tampa, the way she used to be.
Hi, my name is Steve Canella. What would you think if I told you there was a live interactive webcast all about growing up in Tampa?
Hi, they call me the 15-minute girl. What if I told you there's a show where you can hear all of those wonderful stories of our youth?
My name is Mario Nunez. And how would you feel if I told you there was a place you could go each week to feel those memories come alive? A place where you'd feel as if you'd been dipped in magic waters.
A show where you can see all those iconic images of Tampa and be transported back to her glorious youth. A veritable trip down memory lane.
Those times spent at Britton Plaza, the pizza parlor after high school football games, the Colonnade, or how about going downtown to the Tampa, the Palace, and the Florida theaters?
A show where photographs and videos of places like Lowry Park, Al Lopez Field, the Florida State Fair when it was on North Boulevard, and Tampa Highline come alive each week.
A place where you can call in and share your memories, or listen to our guests tell their stories of growing up in Tampa.
The memories would be so thick you'd have to brush them away from your face. Well, this place does exist, but not just in your imagination, in the palm of your hand, or on a laptop, or a desktop, or your very own personal viewing device.
You mean like this?
No, like this.
And like this. And it's called the Tampa Native Show. Now, doesn't that sound cool?
We'd like to welcome those thousands of happy viewers and fans to our brand new online home at TampaNativeShow.com. Remember, TampaNativeShow.com. Why? Because sharing your memories has never been this much fun. So until we see you then, salute and happy days.
That's a wrap.
Yes, I remember Tampa. She remembers me.
Hi, Tampa Native Show fans. This is Mario Nunez, and I'm sitting alongside Jimmy Calamares. Lorman Furniture, been here since 1931. That's 80 years if you're keeping track. Talk about Tampa Natives. Jimmy, thank you so much for being a part of the Tampa Native Show sponsor family.
Thank you so much. We're excited about being part of this.
If you haven't been down here before, it's on 7th Avenue. Get over here quick. Meet Jimmy. On behalf of the Tampa Native Show, this is Mario Nunez saying salud and happy days. We'll see you, Tampa. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's a privilege and a pleasure to introduce to you longtime Tampa native and a dear friend, Jamie Urso. Jamie, thank you so much
Good to see you.
for being a part of our,
Steve, good to see you.
our broadcast this evening. We've got a little bit of information to share with you about Jamie. Jamie is a Lateville High School graduate, played baseball at Hillsborough Community College. Jamie, how many years did you work for the Tampa Fire Department?
I did 26 years here at Tampa Fire.
26 glorious years for the Tampa
Glorious.
Fire Department. And we're proud to say is a stablemate now. You can use that term, right?
I think you
a
can.
Stablemate, because he's part of the Tampa Digital family also. Jamie will be working, producing his own show the 5-alarm chef. We're going to ask him a little bit to expand a little bit on that. Jamie, thank you for being here, man.
It's great to be here.
Isn't it good to be back in this
Thank
building?
you so much.
Fabulous building.
Does it bring back memories?
Brings back memories. Worked so hard. I actually have color movies of me as a 4-year-old playing in this fire station.
No way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we didn't get those
wow.
in pre-production.
Oh, we should have.
Sorry,
We're going to fire the
those
staff.
Those are under lock and key.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Jamie, sometimes we'll bring you in on your individual camera. That's you over there, just so you know. And if you get that close up, just smile. Just smile for the camera. As the pictures start coming up, we'll discuss those pictures. Hey, are you excited about the 5-alarm chef enterprise? Because we're excited for you. I got to be honest.
So good to be able to go out and cook the things I cooked at the fire station.
Sure.
Bring them to the public so they can see what we ate at the fire station. Not only normal things you would think a fireman ate, we ate things above and beyond. I brought a lot of great ethnic meals to the fire station. It was fabulous.
And
Really.
creativity and energy. You know, we talked about it a little bit yesterday that you were kind of the go-to guy.
I was a guy. We used to expose a lot of guys at Tampa Fire to some things they would never have thought to have eaten anywhere else. So I turned a little gourmet action on them, and they enjoyed it. They look
Lucky
forward to coming to
guys.
eat it.
Lucky guys, right?
Yeah.
Lucky guys.
Yeah.
The magic of being Tampeño, the magic of having the cultural mix
Right.
that we have here because you're exposed to so much.
And I'm in that key mix. I'm the mother Cuban descent, my father Sicilian descent. So I grew up in 2 different households,
Perfect
the
mix.
Cubans and the Sicilians. So we ate a lot of great ethnic meals. And sometimes you combine them.
What was the most favorite meal of the firemen? What did they like?
Oh, they ate so many different things. I exposed them, I never forget, I exposed them to eggplant parmigiana one night.
Okay.
And of course, the first thing out of their mouth was, is there going to be any meat in this? But you know,
Vegetarian.
they love whatever I put on them, so they really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it a lot.
That is cool.
Excellent. Well, if the pictures want to start coming up now, Jamie's ready to tell us a little bit more about these pictures. And Jamie, you know, yesterday we're walking through this building. I got to tell you, I never stepped in here before. And it's almost as if these walls could talk, you know,
these
because
walls
there's
could talk.
so much. Even beforehand, you were telling us that just next door here was.
It was a Southern brewery. It was actually a brewery where they were full production beer makers. And on payday, you could actually go out through a side door and get yourself a nice.
Didn't have to walk too far.
cold beer. No.
They had a draft right on the
But
building.
only on payday.
Only on
Couldn't
payday.
go on regular.
Or so the legend was
Where
told.
some guys disappeared tonight. We didn't know where they were, but they were across the street.
The people might find it interesting that you also historian for some of the property, like these photographs, and you worked
Right.
here with the board of directors. And tell us a little bit about this and that experience.
I was on the original board of directors for the Tampa Fire Museum, and I was on the Tampa Archives board. So we have such a great history at Tampa Archiving as far as history of the fire department. We have all of our old log books. Every day it was a log book. You know, log what's in and what's out.
Wow.
So we have those back to about 1903, and we have the largest archive of any city entity stored at
That's
archives.
impressive.
Wow.
I didn't know
So
that.
you can go back and get these books, which are huge, with the beautiful handwriting
Sure,
in,
sure.
and the tobacco-colored paper, and explicitly what they did and what they saw that day back to 1903. So get a picture in your mind.
Wow, that's
gotta see those
that's
pictures.
almost the living history. I
Absolutely.
would like to see those books. Are
Yeah,
those books
I'd love to.
available to peruse?
I would
or are
imagine
they
you
under-
could. They're,
Yeah.
of course, they're being preserved. They're kept in good order.
Sure.
One of the most interesting pages when I was on the board to see was from the 1908 fire. This is a waterfront fire photo here, but from the 1908 fire, there's actually a page in the book. It shows exactly what happened, how the alarm came in, how the alarm was turned in, and what trucks responded, and a brief description by the chief that was on duty that day of
Wow.
what went down.
Wow.
Which that's irreplaceable history.
And,
Hey,
long, and all
boys.
in longhand.
And you know what?
All in beautiful longhand.
Yes, darling.
There's a Facebook visitor,
Yes.
Ray Alcover, who's saying that he had some great meals that Jamie picked.
Absolutely.
There you go.
And Real Coor is my
Listen,
partner for years.
this would be a wonderful time for Stevie to go ahead and give him that phone number because we want to go to the phone
Definitely.
lines. A big part of our show, Jamie, is the interaction between
Right.
our viewers and our guests.
Facebook.
And we know so
Emails.
many people having been born and raised here. We just found out yesterday that Jamie and I are almost related. Jamie knows so many of my family members.
There's
and-
always that chance.
Isn't that great? Isn't that great?
What else did we find out about Jamie?
What did we find out about Jamie? That Jamie played one winter ball season with one AKA Tampa Steve Cannella.
Yeah.
And we're going to find that photograph.
We're gonna find the
That's going to bear
photograph.
that out. It's pretty.
We're on the Wellswood Marlins.
Yeah, the
Wellswood
Wellswood
Marlins.
Marlins.
Exactly.
We're a powerhouse.
That was what it was.
Powerhouse.
You got it.
Give him that number, big guy.
That number, please call in. It's 813-526-0816. That's 526-0816. Also, you can send us an email at show@tampanatives.com. That's show@tampanatives.com.
We're fully interactive
Yes,
here with the
very much so.
internet.
Yes,
So
we are, and we have ladies that are definitely coming down to get some of those calendars.
Well,
Okay.
well.
We've already-
You know, it pays.
I hope you have a big supply.
It pays to advertise because apparently, you know,
Yeah.
15-minute girl showing that calendar at the very outset.
Oh, yeah.
So go ahead and pick up the phones, give us a call. You can also talk to us and submit a message. Submit a message via Twitter and via Facebook. We also have videos that we're going to intersperse because yesterday we had too much fun here yesterday. We'll show you this little video. We'll come back and talk to it and let Jamie expound on what you're about to see. Let's talk about communication and how the firefighters got the signal. From 1889, fire alarm boxes have dotted the city streets in Tampa. The system grew from 15 boxes to over 300 boxes before they were removed in 1981. Citizens reported fires and emergencies using these boxes. Each box had a unique number assigned to it, like this one, which is 548. A gear-like wheel inside has a series of 5, then 4, then 8 teeth. When the alarm was pulled, the wheel rotates and the gear teeth break the direct current 5, then 4, then 8 times. The signal was sent to the fire department signaling division, where it was received as a series of gongs on a bell and was also punched on a paper tape. The fire department dispatched the equipment closest to the station at box 548. And if you consult the map over here, the chart shows 548 was at the corner of Howard and Spruce. Now, these boxes were underground because the wiring was considered more reliable than telephones, because above ground wires could be blown down in storms. Isn't that interesting? Wow. That's the first time I see that video, and I got to be honest with you. I found that compelling again just watching it. I did it yesterday. Jamie, tell us about that, because that was the way that they signaled fires.
Right. Well, the way it was you did just call on the phone, hey, we have a fire. Back in the day, there was a call box, and you would pull the call box, and it would give you a general location of where you needed to go. So they didn't know if it was a fire, if it was a rescue of some type, or what have you. They would just pull the box, and the engines that were assigned to that area or grid, that's what they would just drive and find out what happened when they got there.
When they got there.
When they got there.
Primitive communication back in the day, and I also found out, Jamie, that was very interesting, was there was also sort of a little Morse code clicker in the bottom of that box. So if they got there, for example, and the captain that was on scene realized it was just a false alarm, he could send back through a series of clicks, Morse code signal to the station to let them know false alarm, call off the rescue. So how about that? How about that? Everything underground, because of course the above ground wires could be destroyed in wind and rain and storms. So I learned so much yesterday, Jamie.
Absolutely.
Pretty cool stuff. We've got little videos like that that are going to be coming up throughout the show.
You know, and everybody in the city would hear those, hear the clicks and boom. So it wasn't just that area. So everybody in the city woke up to that.
Was alerted.
And you would count to see, and you kind of knew, if you knew your territory, you would know by the clicks or the alarm, the bells, where you were going.
Wow.
And you knew if that was for you or not for you.
So cool.
Yep.
Hey guys, look at this picture here. This is 1925 Tampa firefighters. Now they're not holding hands; they're holding hams. Actually.
Nice, very
So
nice.
Maybe
Here
it's
we go.
Christmas time, possibly. Maybe they got hams for Christmas. Maybe who
Sure,
knows? But it could have been that time of year.
Suffice to say, they're hamming it up.
And that's in this
Oh,
building
my
right here.
goodness.
So they were hamming it up here. It looks like. But great picture.
Yeah, those classics. Look at this
Now,
shot here,
Jamie,
1944.
maybe Jamie could talk about this one.
A little bit of the equipment in there. Talk to us a
You
little bit.
recognize
This is typical rescue equipment. And
Okay.
of course, back in this time, there wasn't too much rescuing going on.
Well, you talked about that earlier.
A lot of times it's called Bo's a funeral home, and just come get them taken to the funeral home. You know, because most of the ambulance services in town were not run by the fire department; they were actually ran by the funeral homes.
Okay.
Okay, and they would take you to the hospital.
Okay.
So basically, you go to the hospital in a funeral wagon. And this is more designed on the lines of a heavy type rescue type thing, where if there was a large situation where they did have some very, very primitive resuscitation tools.
I bet.
So,
Well, we were thinking, like we were talking about earlier, you know, there was always a bad news and a good news, you know.
And the bad news was?
Bad news is you're not going to make it.
The good news is
The good news is the funeral home's right there.
down the street,
you're right there.
So,
very-
okay.
so, yeah, exactly.
And you can
One-stop shopping.
Well, we'll talk about it a little bit later on in the show when we come up with the next segment. I think is the next segment when we talk about the horse-drawn carts. But you know, you had to think about it. Firefighting has always been and remains today a very serious and very dangerous enterprise.
Right.
I mean, you guys put it on the line every time. Every time the bell goes off, you got to jump in the truck, and you're not quite sure what's going to happen on the other end.
Right.
And even though you have state-of-the-art equipment today, back in those early days, I mean, something as simple as running into a pothole could throw a firefighter out of a horse-drawn cart. And if the cart behind him didn't see him in time, or if he landed on his head, it could be dangerous.
Well, there's a terrific
Deadly.
story about that. I found this gentleman Years ago, when I was on the original museum board, there was a firefighter named Eccles, W.C. Eccles, who through time we had forgotten about him, and I'd rediscovered the entire story of W.C. Eccles, when he was actually was not supposed to be working that day. He was working for somebody else, and he was actually thrown from, hit a pothole coming down Florida Avenue, old pothole, from station number, I believe it was station number, I think it was 3 or 4 back then. They changed the names of the stations, numbers of the stations. He was thrown, fell off the truck, off the horse-drawn wagon.
Sure.
The wheels ran over his legs.
No. Probably wood wheels, no?
Probably wood wheels. And the person who was riding the tailboard didn't know, because he couldn't see because of the steamer. And he said, something's going on. We didn't take the turn we were supposed to be taking. So he looked around the truck, saw no driver. So he climbed on the truck like on the Wild West movie, got the reins, and took control of the driving portion.
Oh my!
Mr. Eccles was taken to a corner house in Tampa Heights, and he was attended to by the city doctor. And a couple of days later, he died from infection, from the crushing of his legs.
Septic shock, and then which was common back then. I mean, it happened.
And we never noted that as a line of duty injury, but it was a line of duty injury.
Certainly.
Every call, there's danger in every call, you know, and it's just amazing.
Absolutely.
Well, we've got another quick little video that we're going to ask Jamie again to comment on right after you watch this. So check this out. Now this wall here is super interesting. As you can see, there's a wide assortment of firefighting tools from way, way back in the day. Just over my left shoulder, you can see an auger. You can see an old pitchfork. Of course they were going to use a pitchfork back in those days. You've got what's called a spanner here, a rope hose. Look at this bayonet nozzle. Is this not interesting? This is 2 tools in one. It's like a battering ram to break open a door. At the same time, you inject this nozzle into the corner, slam a sledgehammer into the other side, breaking open the door jamb, and the hose is connected right here with water coming out of the hose. Incredibly interesting. Look at this original nozzle head. Have you seen that before? And those ladders with hooks on the end. Get it? Hook and ladder. You've got over here a pick-headed axe, a pike pole. These are all antiquated but very necessary firefighting tools for the men and women that used to use these back in the day. And over here, we've got a ladder belt. We've got bolt cutters because you needed to get into some buildings sometimes that are locked up, and we've saved the best for last. You know, when the horses used to bust out of here in the 1890s and they went screaming down the street, people had to get out of the way. Well, there was only one way to let them know. They didn't have sirens. We're going to give you a little sample of that now. Hold on to your hats. This is known as the La France bell. Are you ready? Yeah. They heard that coming and people scrammed to get out of the way. That's how you knew when your firefighters were on the scene. This is one interesting place. Stay tuned, we've got a lot more. Well, we've got a caller waiting. Jamie, before we talk a little bit about that wall, we're going to go to our caller, our first caller of the night. Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
This is Buddy Fernandez calling from Brandon, Florida.
Hey, Buddy Fernandez. Buddy Fernandez married to one Tanya Fernandez, and well, we all know Buddy and Tanya. Buddy, say hello to Jamie.
Hey, how you doing, Jamie?
Hey, buddy, good talking to you. I haven't seen you in a long time.
Yeah, I'll tell you guys a little secret. Jamie and I are brother firemen.
Yes.
Not only that, but we're also fellow Pierce archers from way back.
Pierce Archers.
Wow.
Going all the way
Actually,
back.
before that, I think you went to West Tampa too, didn't you, buddy?
You got it. You got it. I ran the same circles that you did, man. Good to see you again. You're looking good. You guys, good job on the show.
Are you enjoying it
you,
so
buddy.
far, buddy? This place is fascinating, man.
It's
Yeah.
incredible.
It's good stuff. You caught my eye, of course, with the show, the format tonight. Just wanted to pass on some stuff that I went through also in the department. Early on, I realized that that cooking was the way because I hated doing dishes. If you cooked, you never had to do dishes. So I got a few recipes from my abuela and a few recipes from my mom, and that's the story as the story goes.
Very nice.
Thank you for sharing,
call.
Captain Fernandez.
Great call.
Oh, yeah, before you leave us and get off this line, we got to ask you a couple of important questions. First, a question of the day. Riding the tailboard or driving the tiller, you have a preference?
Driving the tiller.
Of course.
There we go.
Of course. I got a feeling if we get enough callers tonight, the tiller is going to run away with this. Buddy, give us your Bolita number draw for the drawing later on.
075.
Number 1, 2, lucky number 1, 2.
12.
All right, good number.
Okay.
And your sponsor of the week, have you had a chance to check out our sponsors? And you might remember some of them from the last shows that we did at the end of last season. Throw one out at us.
La Segunda Central.
There's a lucky guess right there. Yeah, La Segunda Central, which, oh, by the way, has some pretty incredible Cuban sandwiches. What makes those Cuban sandwiches so good, buddy? Can I tell you? They don't got to walk too far to get the bread. It's right there.
He's going to tell you.
You got it, Dad. You got it.
They're delicious.
They know where the bread comes from.
Yeah, they're delicious. Buddy, thank you as always. Captain Fernandez, thank you as always for calling. You're welcome on this show anytime. We got to get together soon.
Thanks, buddy.
Hey, I threw a picture up there for you, too. So
Great.
talk to you soon. Good luck with the show.
Awesome.
And
Thanks.
talk to you again, Jamie. Bye-bye.
Good talking to you, buddy.
Thank you, buddy.
You know what?
What a great guy.
You can see those sponsors by going to tampanativeshow.com. Click on the sponsors tab, or also on the homepage, you'll see the list of sponsors and links to their site. So feel free to.
Did you see some of that
peruse
equipment I was
those.
pointing at earlier?
There was some.
Anything
Yeah.
there that fascinates you that
Well,
you just want to
fascinating
talk about?
is the old ladders were made out of wood.
Right.
Compared to what we've used when I came on the fire, they were aluminum.
Right.
I can imagine.
Wood just a little flammable?
Toss well, it's
Wood
not
just a
flammable,
little.
it's the weight.
Oh, that's
Think
true.
about how
That's
heavy
true.
those things were compared to the aluminum
Hoisting them
ladders.
up. Yep, that's right.
And they would warp, and they had a lot of maintenance issues. They had to be cleaned and sanded and revarnished or
Varnished all the
linseed
time
oil.
because the water would get on
Exactly. So they would a lot of maintenance involved. A lot of maintenance.
That's one thing that we don't take into consideration. I think that, you know, and as I'm learning more about this, just how hard a job it was before. It's still a hard job.
Sure, it's a very hard job.
I mean, you know, by the time we get to our age, which is not old, Jamie, come on, let's face it. But by the time we get to our age, man, you know, you're not climbing too many ladders, you're not hoisting too many hoses, because it's a young man's game.
That's why I learned how to make osobuco and
That's why you're the 5-alarm chef.
That's why I'm the 5-alarm chef.
I love it. That's
Well,
great.
and Jamie, also interesting, as much time as you spent together over the years in the fire department, I mean, you become like brothers and sisters to each other
Yeah,
because of the camaraderie.
You know,
right?
we would eat together, we would live together. It was 24 hours being with a bunch of guys and gals at the fire station,
Right.
and you were like a family.
Yes,
And-
exactly.
And of course, it was practical jokes all day long. But I tell you what, when the bell rang and we went to a fire or a rescue call, it was serious business. Okay, it wasn't. There was no playing around. It was these guys were professionals. Guys and gals were total professionals at what they did, and proud statement for me to make that they were all pros.
Certainly,
all pros.
certainly, and we, you know, we know what kind of serious business it was. So,
Right.
hijinks before the bell goes off. Once the bell goes on, you put on your boots and your helmet. It's time to go to work.
Time to go to work. Time to go to work.
That's good stuff. We've got another break coming up. Stay right there. Phone lines are open, so
Yeah, we have lots of people on following us on Facebook too.
Oh, that's
lots of our
wonderful.
Good to hear.
friends: Michael White, Mike McCall, Suzanne Hester.
oh, that's wonderful.
Nice.
Thank you guys for being there. Stay tuned.
Mike
We'll be right
Padrino.
back after this message.
Mike Padrini, Big Mike.
Big Mike. We'll be right back. Hi, everybody. Mario Nunez here, co-host of the Tampa Native Show. We're sitting here in the showroom of Larman Furniture, established in 1931. This year, about to celebrate its 80th anniversary. And I'd like to introduce to you at this time Jimmy Calomares. Jimmy is the owner of Larman Furniture and member of the family for a long time. And we'd like to say thank you, Jimmy. And how are you today?
Thank you. Fine. Doing wonderful.
Doing good?
Yeah.
Why don't you take a minute and maybe tell some of the folks that haven't heard the story a little bit about Larman Furniture.
Well, Larman was started in 1931 with my wife's grandfather, and he and a partner was called Friday Larman.
Okay.
Initially, and then
Mr. Friday was the other gentleman?
Mr. Friday was the other gentleman,
Okay.
and then in I believe it was 1955, Mr. Friday wanted to get out, and then that's when my father-in-law Curtis Larman
Okay.
got in the business and bought his share out, and they had the business until my wife's grandfather wanted to get out.
Sure.
His name
At
was
some point,
Urso.
everybody tries
Yeah,
to get out
yeah.
at some point.
So, and then once he got involved, Curtis Larman got involved. The business started growing, and because they had their hard times. They started during the Depression,
Of course,
1931.
31.
So, and then once my father-in-law got involved, he grew it, and then my sister-in-law Cheryl had gotten involved. And then 5 years later is when I was asked to see if I wanted to join the company, and 20 years later, you know.
What a wonderful family
here.
legacy. So once again, Jimmy, let me just say on behalf of the Tampa Native Show and all of our fans, thank you so much to you and to the Larman family for stepping up and being one of our first sponsors here in this this new show with Tampa Digital. Thank you so much.
Mario, thank you. We're excited about it. Whether you're a Tampa business or doing business in Tampa, we just thought it was a natural fit. We're Tampa natives, and we're just excited to be part of this wonderful sponsorship, and we look forward to the relationship.
Thank you again. So for Jimmy Calamares, this is Mario Nunez sitting inside the lovely showroom of Larman Furniture. Been here since 1931, celebrating this year 80 years in business. Talk about Tampa natives. So on behalf, again, of the Tampa Native Show, this is Mario Nunez saying salute and happy days. Hi, everybody. Mario Nunez here, co-host of the Tampa Native Show. We're just about ready to start a whole new season of broadcast, Wednesday evenings at 8 p.m. We'd like to thank those of you that have already taken the opportunity to be sponsors with us here. And for those of you that are sitting on the sidelines, now's your chance to get involved. The Tampa Native Show, for Tampa natives, by Tampa natives, and all about Tampa natives. If you grew up in Tampa, this is the show for you. So once again, this is Mario Nunez saying salute and happy days. We'll see you on Wednesdays. Thank you for staying with us.
Yes.
Hey, listen, phone lines are open, and as they say on TV, operators are standing by. So listen, call us now, and by all means, if you're on the internet with us, send the 15-minute girl your bolita drawing number so she can shout them out at us, and we can write them down. Because as of right now, Captain Buddy Fernandez is going to win everything, because we only got one number to draw from
Your
now.
mom.
Unless it goes
My
over.
mom?
Yeah, your mom posted.
My mom posted something.
Also,
Would that be Carmen Nunez?
that would be Carmen Nunez.
Okay, very good.
Also,
All right.
we're having a few issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
With me? Because I know I talk too much, but I got Jamie on here now, so I can deflect.
They can't hear. Some of them can't see it. So
Hearing and seeing?
yes.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll work on that. We'll work on that. But in the meantime, while we're working on the hearing and seeing part, Jamie, tell us a funny story about what might have happened in the. I mean, you were a cook.
Yeah, I cooked every day.
There you
Cooked
go.
every day at the fire station. And,
Okay.
it's hard to, you don't want to mess with
Hit
anybody's
me with the
food,
funny stuff.
No.
Jamie.
But we had a guy on our station, I'm not going to name any names, that
Okay.
used to, if I made a tray of brownies, he would get a bowl and cut the center out of it out just to get the middle brownie.
I see.
The best part.
It's like the
Ah,
middle
see,
part.
seen by Wednesday.
If I made French toast or whatever, he would look to see the biggest one he could find. So I got tired of that. He was the first one in line, the first one to dig through everything to get one out. So I said, I'm going to get this guy. I know he's going to go after it. So we're having breaded steak sandwiches at the fire station. I made beautiful breaded steaks. I pounded them out myself. My family was in the meat business for 40 years. So I know how to-
Empanizado.
Bistec empanizado.
Wow.
And I made the steaks and everything, and the most beautiful steak on the platter, the one on the very top, the largest steak, was actually a sponge.
Oh, no.
I cut a sponge and made it tore the edges, and I dipped it in egg and breadcrumbs, and I fried the sponge. It was beautiful. And we put this platter out. He was the first one. He goes, that's the one I want right there. Put it on the bread with the mayonnaise and the lettuce and the tomato. He ready to go. And we're all watching the station out of the corner of our eye. We didn't want to let in on it. And as he cut through it and everything, he grabbed it, that sandwich. He was so excited to have it with the lettuce and tomato and the mayonnaise. He bit into it, and he pulled, and he pulled, and he pulled, and he finally broke a piece loose, and he chewed and chewed and chewed and chewed.
Steak is kind of tough.
And then when it finally he just reaches in his mouth and pulls out this big hunk of yellow sponge.
I'm done.
And I told him, next time get the biggest one again.
All right, Jamie, what was his name? No, don't say it. Don't say it.
No
Okay.
names,
I know
no
this.
names.
I'm just kidding with you.
Which begs the question, in all those years of cooking, and I know it never happened to you, but you're cooking, you're a fireman, you're in the firehouse. Did the fire kitchen ever catch on fire?
Grease
I'm
fire?
not going to say, but it has happened.
Well, yeah, you would almost think that it would.
It has happened. You get in the moment, you're cooking something, maybe you're frying some fish
Sure.
or whatever.
Something pops
the
up.
alarm comes on, everybody takes off. You think you turn everything off, and off you
That's
go.
true,
or
that's
you're
true.
doing something like that, and next thing you know, you come back and you're putting your own station
Yeah,
out.
you got a 3 alarm blaze in your own.
It's not a good thing. It's
I've
not
done
a
it
good
myself.
thing, but it can happen.
Can I give you a couple of Bolita numbers?
Would you, darling? 'Cause
Sure.
we'll write those
Okay.
down.
We're people too.
Michael Padrinan is number 63.
63 for
Michael
Mike.
White is 53.
Okay, Mike White.
And I'm looking for your moms. Okay, that's good for now. I'll
Big
scroll
Big
down.
Mike was 63, and Michael
Padrinan
White was
Mike is
53.
53.
Okay,
yes.
good.
53.
Good. We
Yeah.
got it. We got it. Okay,
Okay,
keep those numbers
good.
coming in, because right now the odds are getting better or worse if you were Buddy, because Buddy was only had one. The only one so far.
Jamie, before the show started, we talked about the pole. Everybody likes to talk about the pole, sliding down the pole.
Right.
What story was that you were telling us?
Yep.
Well, I received I was at station number 1 one evening. I got transferred in. In fact, I think it was transferred in to drive the back of the fire truck. And we received a call, and not remembering that I was the guy driving the back, they hollered at me, "Hey, your truck's going on a call. You need to go." So I got dressed and I took off for the pole, and I woke up on the ground, straddling the pole with two guys looking over. Hey, man, are you all right? I go, yeah, I'm good. And I got on the truck and we went to the fire or what have you. But I totally, I hit the pole sleeping and woke up when I hit the ground.
You were sleep polling.
I was
Yeah,
sleep
exactly.
polling.
What's going on with that?
It's a very difficult thing, but I'm.
I think we've got a caller on the line. That's a fantastic story. And oh, by the way, going down the pole like that, something I've always wanted to do since I was 5 years old. Caller, we see that you're there. Are you on the air? You're on the air with the Tampa Native Show. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Tony Gonzalez, Tampa, Florida.
Hey, Tony Gonzalez. Good to hear from you.
Good to hear from you.
How you doing?
Good. Thank you, Tony.
Good, good.
What say you?
Oh, not so much. I've been, seeing all this stuff. I remember when I was a kid, the fire station used to be on 9th Avenue, there, 9th and about, I guess, 18th Street, something like that.
Okay.
And they'd come right in front of my father's bakery. And I was on the second floor, and you could always see the firemen hanging onto the truck and everything.
Which begs the question of the day from you, sir. Hanging on to that running board that we were talking about, the tailboard in the back, or driving the tiller? What would you rather have been doing?
I would have been the tiller man. In those days, they were sat out there in the open.
Nothing.
The tiller, somebody's going to have to call him and say, look, man, I don't want to be the tiller driver. I just want to hang on to the running board. I don't think it's going to happen.
I'll call from my cell phone. Yeah.
Have you seen Jamie before? Is this the first time seeing Mr. Urso? Tony, are you there?
What?
Are you familiar with this chap sitting here to my right?
No.
Jamie Urso? Well, get familiar with him because you're going to see him. He's got a cooking show coming up.
He's a very nice
yeah?
man.
Right here on Tampa
And a
Digital.
good cook.
Great guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy to know, and tremendo cocinero, so we're all going to have good food here.
We're going to eat fabulously.
Fabulously. Oh, yeah. Tony, do you have a bolita drawing number for us?
Yeah, number 31.
That never changes.
He always has the same
And the
number.
sponsor of the week, are you going to go with Brocados or are you going to mix it up this season?
No, I'm going to go with Colonnade.
Oh, excuse
Okay.
me.
Okay.
I was expecting the heat. You threw me a little curveball there. Way to go. Tony called in every week on our
mixing it up a little
last
bit.
season.
Beautiful.
And he always stuck with Brocados because he knew eventually we were going to get around to Brocados. And eventually we did.
Good
Oh,
family.
yeah, Tony, thanks so much for being there. We appreciate it.
All righty, see you later.
Call every week.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Tony.
you. That caller came through good, right?
Very
Carmen
clear.
Nunez,
Very
number
clear.
29.
Okay,
balloon number.
very good.
What's the name?
Carmen, that was Carmen.
Okay.
Carmen Nunez, that would be.
Oh, that's your mother.
That's my mom. Thanks for watching, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
You would expect that.
Absolutely.
We have another
Angelo
video coming.
Rumor, number
Oh,
24,
Angelo Rumor.
sorry.
No, it's okay, darling. Keep
Okay.
them coming because now that we made the shout out.
A lot of
Yeah.
interaction. You could tell.
How
on
about phone
Facebook.
calls? Do we have any phone callers out there? Give them the number again, Stevie.
The number is 526-0816.
Do it in your
That's
best DJ voice.
Oh, that's 813-526-0816. Art Steele. I'll do it in that voice.
Oh, better than that. Where's the number? Let me see the number.
Here you go.
This always seems to work. Jamie, you give it to him.
There we go.
813-526-0816.
Perfect.
There you go.
Awesome.
That ought to.
And there it's on
That
the
ought-
screen too.
I
Oh,
have
there it
3
is.
more numbers real quick.
Darling, let me get the 3 numbers real quick. Give me Angelo Rumori's again.
Oh, you would ask me
Sorry.
that.
Don't worry. Steve's got it.
Okay, Mike.
No, he doesn't.
Connie Wright Hodge is 27.
Hodge, 27.
Ray Alcover is number 8.
Alcover, 8.
Let's see. Oh, man.
Did you get Angelo Rumori's? Angelo, call in and tell us your
Angelo-
number.
No,
It's
24.
Oh, 24.
24.
Okay, that's it for now.
That's it for now?
Yeah.
All right. Very good. All right.
Good.
We've got another video that we got to do it. Listen, we were talking earlier about the horse-drawn carts. I think this next video I address that, and then when we come back, tell us what you know about those days when they used to have to load the coal before they took off, to have the steam, to do what with the steam, to have the pressure. So that it's fascinating. Watch this, guys. Jamie will tell us about it a little bit more. Now, this one area of this particular museum I find incredibly fascinating. As you just saw, that was a grooved floor. Anybody out there care to guess what that was for? Yeah, this is the area where they kept the horses. See, back in the 1890s, everything was pulled by horse-drawn cart. So the grooves in the floor were to accommodate the hooves so that they can get traction when they bolted out of here. Follow me as we walk back here to where you can see stables were staked out in the ground. Now, back here they kept the horses, probably 4 at a time, and what they did was on weekends, this was kind of nice for the kids, they would let the horses run out there and get their exercises. The kids would come in with apples and carrots to take care of the horses, but don't kid yourself, those horses were the MVPs of this operation, because when they had to bust out those doors, it was the horses that got them there. The alarm would sound, the horses knew what that meant, they were trained, they'd come out, they'd line up by the door, they'd get their harnesses put on them, the firemen would jump into the carts, and away they went. How about that for interesting? Now, before we get away from here, let me show you one other thing that I found completely captivating. Anybody care to guess what this is here? This is known as a life net. And for buildings that were about 3 or 4 stories tall, this could be your life-saving device. The firefighters would take this out of their trucks or the horse-drawn carts. They'd assemble it off-site, open it up, and then, of course, present it to the jumper. 4 stories high is about as high as you could go with this. But, you know, we've all seen these before. Look at it here. This one came to us from Chicago. They've had it here for about 6 months. Once again, the Tampa Firefighters Museum. What an interesting place. Care to have a jump? Pretty good stuff.
That's great. That's interesting.
Would you care to have a jump?
Fascinating. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I mean, as close as we ever got to those was, I think, the Pink Panther cartoons.
I have 3 more, believe it or not.
Oh, now they're coming hot and heavy. Go ahead, darling.
Mike McCall is number 40.
McCall, 40.
Juan Santayana is number 33.
Mr. Santayana.
Davian Menendez is number 16.
43, darling, don't go a little too fast. Santayana.
33.
Yes, 33.
Yes.
Good. And,
Davian?
and
Davian Menendez is number 16.
16.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay,
All right.
that's it for the moment.
Good. And callers, there are lines open. Tell us what you know, sir, about the horse-drawn cart days.
Well, it's pretty fascinating. For years, when we started with this museum, we would hope that somebody in their backyard had one of our steamer trucks, and it was not yet, not to
Haven't
be.
found it
not
yet.
that we haven't found it yet, not to be. But yeah, the truck was the engine portion of it was kept here in the bay. System of a rack system above where the horses would go was in place, and these guys would drill on this thing every day. They were super efficient. In a matter of minutes, they could have the horses rigged, set up with this thing, and out the door. And a lot of times, of course, the steamer was kept stoked till it was time to go. Then they really stoke it up. And sometimes it wasn't a fireman stoking it. Sometimes it was a neighborhood helper or
a teenager,
a handyman guy who would hang around. They'd feed him, what have you. He'd be the guy that would stoke the truck. We're talking, early part of the century here.
Absolutely.
And of course, there was a grooves cut in the floor, as he's in the front, for the horse to get a little traction as he came out. But an interesting story was, for years in Tampa Fire Department, we tested the radios at, I believe, at 8 o'clock in the morning, I believe at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I always wondered why we tested the radios. The radios are going to work. We knew the radios worked. We use them all day long. And then doing some research, we found out that at 8 o'clock in the morning, back in the old days, a guy would come out with a bucket and tap on the bucket, and the horse would relieve himself in the bucket at 8 o'clock. And at 4 o'clock, they'd come out with a bucket, tap it, and the horse would relieve himself. And they kept the tradition.
8 and 4.
8 and 4 from the horse relieving himself at the fire station.
That's fascinating, actually.
yeah.
Wow,
The things that happen.
Yeah.
We've got a caller on the line, so let's go to the caller now. Stevie, take this one.
Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
This is the mayor of Tampa, Bob Buckhorn.
Hello, Mayor Buck and Mr. Mayor. How are you this
Thanks
evening?
for calling in.
Thank you
That's
for calling.
My neighbor.
good to hear from you.
It's good to talk to you guys as well. How are things going, guys?
Good seeing you. Doing very well.
We've got Mr. Jamie Urso with us. We're having a great time talking about all things Tampa firefighters,
Exactly.
and we're so glad that you called.
Well, Tampa firefighters are near and dear to my heart, and Jamie put a lot of years in and should be proud of his service. And I just had the opportunity to spend last Friday night with him at the firefighter banquet, and you couldn't find a better group of men and women who get up every day and put that bunker gear on and go do their jobs for us.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
We're very proud of them as well, and being able to do the show tonight from the Firefighters Museum, I don't think it's a stretch to say it's an honor, to be in this building. There's too much history here to ignore, and we've said it earlier in the show. We'll say it again. If you haven't seen it, those of you watching our webcast, get out here as soon as you can. There's some real fascinating stuff in here to look and see.
Well, it really is, and I was there on 9/11 when we dedicated that piece of steel from the World Trade Center that you see there. For anybody who hasn't seen that, to go look at 115 years of Tampa firefighter history is a pretty amazing experience. And so,
Very impressive.
like you guys, I recommend to everybody who's watching to go take a look at it, run down Zach Street, right down from Fire Station 1, and you'll really enjoy it too. Trip through history.
And there's no doubt in my mind that if these walls could talk, we would hear some incredible stories.
Right.
And there's probably a friendly ghost or two walking around here, I would think.
I think we just heard one.
There might very well be.
Yeah.
You may not want to hear some of the stories, but the rest of them are all going to be good.
Practical jokers, on the job, practical jokers, after work, practical jokers. Mr. Mayor, listen, we have to ask you as well because we ask everybody who calls in. First of all, if you had the option, would you rather have been the firefighter riding the tailboard or perhaps driving the tiller?
I prefer riding the tailboard, actually.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. You balance the score a little bit.
Mr. Mayor, thank you for that. Now listen, we do a little simulated bolita drawing here each and every week. I say simulated because there is no gambling.
It's perfectly legal.
But we do have 1 through 75 little wooden balls that we'll draw out of a bag after a little while. Jamie will help us with that. Can you give us your lucky bolita drawing number?
22.
22 is all yours, Mr. Mayor, and if we win, we'll come over to the office there and take a photo opportunity with you. We're going to be giving away a Tampa Firefighters Museum shirt in just a little while. One more, well, you don't know our...
I'll make sure, Mario, I'll make sure the Tampa police aren't there when you come over with those bolita winnings.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That we appreciate because we've got to do another show next week.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Thank you so much for calling tonight. We appreciate you being there. You're doing a great job for us, and as always, we're hard by your side. Thank you. So are the firefighters.
Thank you. I know it, and I appreciate you guys watching my back. And you guys tell Tampa's story in ways that none of us can ever imagine, and we appreciate you guys.
It's a privilege, Mr. Mayor. It's a privilege. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hey, gentlemen.
Take care, guys.
Thank you, Mr.
Yes,
Mayor.
darling. Good night, Mr. Mayor.
I have a special message for Jamie from Bianca Urso in Tallahassee, and she's sending her love to you.
Oh, very, very nice.
That's my daughter.
Oh, how lovely.
And I have a couple
Hola,
more.
Bianca. Thank you for being there and watching.
I have a couple more bolita numbers.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Juanita Seahorn is number 7.
Okay, let me get that down.
Juanita Seymour?
Seahorn. Number 7.
And Deborah Fernandez Schulman is number 3.
Okay, let me write that down. Well, we've got a lot of viewers tonight on the web.
They're watching.
Yeah,
Deborah Fernandez. Deborah Fernandez.
Number
Schulman.
Schulman. Thank you.
Okay.
And Hetty Dorado is number 26.
Oh, wow. Hetty's out there, too. Hetty, hello, Hetty.
Luz Pelaez.
Oh, wait a minute, darling, because I can't write that fast.
Write
What was Hetty's
faster.
number? What was Hetty's number?
Must write faster.
Must write faster. Hetty's number?
26.
Okay, because we're getting so many numbers now, we got to go back and make sure we're not doubling up on the numbers. I missed Bianca's number. Did she give us one? She didn't. Bianca?
No,
She would have given you 21.
but
Bianca would have given you 21, okay, and we're going to get Luce's now. Stand by.
Luz is 21.
Oh, Luce is 21. She
Yeah.
would have given you 21. Wait, you know what?
13 for Lisa Rhodey.
Hang on, stand by. Hang on, Lisa Rhodey. Oh, my goodness.
We're getting lots of numbers
I know.
tonight.
Luce, if you're
Look at
out there
that.
watching, and we know you are, darling,
Yeah.
Jamie Urso just got in above it, just a split
Just
second
barely.
by a nose
Yeah,
on
she
21. So call back in or send another number in, or I'm going to give you 20. I'm going to give Luce 20. I'm going to give Luce 20, unless she calls back in with a different number. This is getting good. Lisa, what was Lisa's number?
Lisa?
Yeah, did you get Lisa's number, Stevie? Because I can't
I
write that
didn't
fast.
get Lisa's number.
Lisa Rhodey?
No. Oh,
Yeah.
I did get Lisa.
Yeah, you
Rhodey.
did. You called it out.
Okay.
You must write faster.
Well,
sir.
you must talk slower.
I'll find it. I'll have
Okay,
to
find
Okay.
it. Find it. Somebody off camera, help her find
What about
that.
Deborah?
And
No,
Deborah
wait, here it
Fernandez?
is. Here it is.
Okay.
Here it is.
Okay.
No, she's talking about her cousin.
Okay.
Never mind.
You're going back and forth. All right, here's a picture. Talk a little bit about this, Jamie.
Well, there's another rescue vehicle, basically the same rescue vehicle. Very rudimentary rescue stuff back then. It's basically just first aid. There wasn't what our guys do now.
AP Boza? AP Boza's type first aid?
This person's heading for the Boza house shortly after this, but very, very basic stuff back in that time compared to what the guys could do now. Hospital on wheels. These guys are real street doctors, and they're fabulous. They're absolutely fabulous.
No, when the crew shows up now, they do the triage, they do the emergency stabilization right there on the scene, and then they
load them up and go,
they get going. And you know, the early days when we were kids, we're all about the same age here on set. I can remember, of course, the fire rescue rescue squad, as it was known, would show up, and it was sort of in a reconfigured, almost like a
station wagon.
Yep, station wagon, an elongated station wagon.
Right.
The fire chief would come out sometimes, and he'd be part of the crew. You could always denote him because he had his white helmet on.
Sure.
And the sirens back then were akin to the sirens that we used to have on Saturday afternoons at noon, like air raid warning
Oh yeah,
horns.
the old they call them the old wind up.
Oh, yeah.
Which are this to me that just says fire department. We had some old trucks with the old wind ups on them. They were just really, really neat. I believe this truck here has a wind up on it.
Yep.
And it's there's an actual, I think there's maybe a manual wind up on one of these two trucks in here, which you can actually crank and
Crank
get
and
going.
wind it up.
They were just loud as all get out, and they were really.
Well, before that, you had the bell. And the bell served its purpose because, like we talked about earlier, you know, you had to let people know that we're walking down the street, get out of the way, because these horses are not going to stop until they're trained to go and where they need to go. And so the bell first, and then after the bell, of course, the siren technology came in.
Right. And as far as the horses go, back in the day, once the horse had been retired, he was accustomed to going to fires, and he would, if they had sold the horse to another service like an ice truck,
you had to be careful. Because if a bell went off,
that horse is going to follow the other horses to the fire scene.
Wow. And there goes the ice cream.
Free ride to the ice cream. Yeah,
and the ice cream's all over the floor.
Absolutely.
We need to recover two bolita numbers, darling. So if you can get some help with that.
Right, and we also have a message from
Michael. Message from Mike. No.
Alexis.
Alexis.
Oh, okay.
Saying her number is number 27. Your daughter sends her love.
Oh,
also.
we have a 27.
She says she's your favorite daughter.
Connie Hodge.
Whoops.
Connie Hodge.
Both fabulous cooks. Both my daughters are really adept in the kitchen.
Well, why wouldn't they be?
Well, they learned. You know, the only thing you do is hope they watched and learned over the years, and they both did, and they can both get around the kitchen very well.
Doesn't fall too far from the tree.
I'm sure.
Wait, we've got to make an amendment to Alexis's number. We've got to go with 28 for Alexis because 27 was already taken. Sometimes, you know, we haven't had this problem in a long time because we haven't had this many numbers. So I got to say, this is a tribute to how many people out there are connecting with not only the Tampa firefighter story, but Mr. Urso, the Tampa Natives, the Tampa Native Show, Tampa Digital. Should I go on? Five Alarm Chef.
There you go.
Thank you.
Number 13 for Lisa.
Thank you. Gratuitous plug for Five Alarm Chef. We'll say it again a few more times before it's all over.
Jamie, what made you become a fireman?
Deborah Fernandez-Shulman. We need her number as well.
You know, I was in school. I was playing ball, and I was done playing because I couldn't throw a baseball anymore very well because I was hurt. And I decided, you know, I was in college, and I said, you know what, this is something. I had an uncle. It was a Tampa firefighter, and I had a cousin that was a Tampa firefighter, and grew up around Tampa Fire with relatives and what have you. And entered the fire academy, and away I went.
You had a couple mentors in the family already.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
And some you know some exposure to the line of work. So it was inspiring at times. You know, exciting. All those
teamwork. I was used to being on a team. You know, and it just fit me.
Yep.
And it was the best decision I ever made.
So many of our contemporaries back in those days went into either the police force, sometimes the sheriff's department, the fire. These were all jobs that, you know, were admirable and long-term and career type. And look at how many of us now are at the age where we're starting to come off the scrolls a little bit because we're getting to retirement.
Sure,
age.
absolutely.
I know a lot of my high school classmates did, and some of them are out there watching now. If you're out there watching, got phone lines open. Stevie, give them that line again.
That number is 526-0816. That's 526-0816.
Operators are standing by. You do that so well, Stevie.
And
Deborah Fernandez-Shulman, send us that bolita number again. We've got
Mike Beluha, number 7.
Oh,
7?
Mike Beluha,
Okay,
number
another
7.
one.
Here
Good.
comes Sal out of nowhere. Look, we're going to get to 31.
And Dr. Tom
Wait a minute.
from South Tampa Chiropractic also wanted number 40.
Dr. Tom, I don't think we have 40 yet. What was Mike Beluha?
7.
We already have a 7.
Oh, we do have a 7.
Yeah.
Can we give? Yep. Can we give Mike Beluha?
There's an 8 already.
There's an 8 already.
9.
Lucky number 9 for Mike Beluha. We're making executive decisions on the set.
I don't want to say anything, but
In real time
Next
and,
time. 9, that's it.
on live TV. We've got another little video clip. We took a walk through the room here that has the memorials where you were telling us the story about Fireman Eccles.
Right.
And that's coming up now. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, here we find ourselves in a very special room. This room is a memorial to those firefighters that lost their lives in the line of duty, and some actually in some training exercises as well. From the earliest days at W.C. Eccles in 1906, who was thrown from his horse-drawn cart, to in 1974, firefighter Riles, who fell from an extended ladder during a training exercise. You can see here the evolution and just how dangerous and risky this business of saving lives and being a Tampa firefighter has evolved. This is quite a display of courage and certainly something that we should all be very proud. I'm sure those family members that are represented here are. And to these gentlemen, we owe a great debt of service. Come down here and see the Firefighters Museum. It's well worth the trip. That's good stuff.
It is.
Deborah Schulman is number 3.
Oh, Deborah, thank you so much. Listen, we are getting close to the wrap of the show, and I've got some notes here that I've got to go over because I promised earlier today. You know, we have the tradition of good food in our culture, be it the Cuban, the Sicilian, you know, some of us that are of Puerto Rican descent. I mean, we're not gonna leave anybody out, because if there's one thing, exactly, if there's one thing they brought to us, our abuelitas or nanas brought to us, was unbelievable cuisine and unbelievable good cooking.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, we have our fair share of West Tampa eateries. One that is very near and dear to our heart is one that's called Amarilli's Sandwiches and More. Here comes a gratuitous plug for Amarilli's. Are you ready? Stay tuned, because just today it was discovered that starting on Wednesdays, Stevie, you're going to be excited about this.
Good.
Hold on to your hats.
Okay.
Starting on Wednesdays, for $4.99, and you can't get anything for $4.99 anymore, they're going to have what's called the Tampa Native Show All-Day Show Day Special.
Jamie's going to love this.
Let me repeat that. That's the Tampa Native Show All-Day Show Day Special. Jamie, let me tell you what that involves. That involves arroz blanco con huevos fritos. How many huevos? Dos huevos fritos, because you can't really do it with one.
But two.
Okay, thank you. Plátanos maduro. Add to that a little bit of pan cubano and a small café con leche. Did I mention it was only $4.99?
Unbelievable.
You can't eat all of that
Now
for
the
$4.99.
English version.
The English version, for my non-Spanish speaking friends, and we love you too. That's white rice with two, not one, but two fried eggs on top.
I was raised with that.
My mouth is
That's lunch.
my
man.
mouth, my mouth is
That's
watering.
lunch
Man,
right
I
there.
love
My mouth
it.
is
It's
watering.
very simple, but it tastes so good.
Plátanos maduro, that would be sweet fried plantains. Hello. A little bit of Cuban bread, as if you need that to top the meal off, and then a small café con leche, which is coffee with milk. $4.99. Listen, Juan and Amy Santayana are marvelous people. They roll out the red carpet each and every day. They not only do breakfast, they do lunch and dinner as well. They also have an assortment of healthy foods. Don't think that because they're in West Tampa, they don't give you organic, hormone-free milk or whole wheat Cuban bread.
Even the eggs.
And they have delicious spinach salad.
What happened today, darling? Yes, we enjoyed a delicious spinach salad today with salmon or chicken. One more thing. Tell everybody, Jamie, what it is that's involved in la enchilado. Go ahead.
Langosta enchilado.
Go ahead.
Langosta is going to be a nice little lobster.
My Italian-Cuban friend. Look right into the camera, number
Well,
one,
it
and tell
could be
everybody.
langosta enchilado, which is a Spanish or a Cuban version, or it could be langosta fra diablo in Italian. So it's basically a little spicy red sauce with some nice lobster meat or langosta, cooked, simmered down. You don't want to cook the lobster too long; it gets a little tough. Either served with some rice, or served on a bed of pasta.
I can't wait to make a guest appearance on the 5 Alarm Chef.
Me
Because you know
too.
what? This is going to be magnificent. Langosta enchilado, again, is
Which we ate at the fire
lobster
station.
Creole.
We
lobster
had it.
Creole.
I used to make it at the fire station all the time, either in many forms.
Sure.
Because of course, all our guys at the fire department were always hunters and fishermen.
They were always in Key West getting lobster.
Exactly. When lobster season was over, they would come to the station.
You guys are
for
making me
Jamie.
hungry.
And I would tempura lobster.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
I would make lobster tempura.
Okay, I wasn't sure what that was, but I'm
Lightly
glad that-
fried lobster in a
Thank you,
tempura
thank you,
batter.
thank you.
I would make the fra diablo, Italian style. I would make a fruta de mare, which was with shrimps, and we would get some nice mussels, what have you.
That's incredible.
Cook them together, and we would do that. I also make a Creole style, like you mentioned, the enchilado, and even sometimes I do a Creole style. I'd make an étouffée. We would do a lobster étouffée, which is smothered.
You know, I think it's perfectly apropos. Whoever came up with the idea of 5 Alarm Chef. But you know, you could have just simply called that show "Jamie Knows Food," man. Because I skipped dinner tonight, and I'm telling you right now, my eyes are glazing over. My mouth is seriously. I'm gonna get a drink. I need a drink.
When you have a passion to do something like cooking, like I do, you know, and you absorb everything that cooking and do cooking, then it's just a great feeling for me to be able to put these things together and put it on the table for the guys at the station. That's
Sure.
where we
It's like
expose them to so many different things.
Those are
They
your
were looking
professional-
forward. They would look forward to come eat at the fire station better than their house.
Wow.
Mercy.
So it was an event that day when I would plan the meal out. They were all just like this at the station. They couldn't wait.
Like a work of art.
Exactly. It was fun. It was fun for me.
I have one more Bolita number.
We'll take that, and then we'll go to another picture, darling. Go ahead.
Okay, it's from Christina Naranjo, RN.
Okay.
She's an RN, a nurse, and
see.
she wants number 11.
Do we have that already?
I don't think so.
I
check.
don't remember 11.
No, we don't.
I know Christina.
This-
Oh, you do?
Friend of my
Okay.
daughter's, I believe.
Good, good.
This is
Father's retired TPD.
Oh, wow.
again a wonderful
Small world.
testament to the fact that our show is very, very popular tonight. I think we're setting records tonight.
I think it's also a testament that everybody likes
More
to
this
win
picture here.
Oh,
I've got to mention this picture.
hello.
This
All right, talk to us a little bit about that, Stevie.
This is an amazing photo. This is my nephew. The fireman you see in that photo is my nephew, Daniel Wallace. He's with the Lake City Fire Department. Rumor has it that they're watching tonight from the station, so we got to give a shout out to the Lake City Fire Department.
Lake City Fire Department, we salute you.
I have to say, when my sister sent this photo to me a few months ago, this was actually from a hotel fire in Orlando that happened earlier this year. When I got the picture, I got a little bit of a lump in my throat because when he was a kid, I took him to Pee Wee football, Taekwondo classes, on all his field trips, along with my other niece and nephews. And to see him now, in front of that roaring fire,
makes you proud.
It just makes me, really proud.
A grown man doing courageous
exactly,
job.
Out there protecting people and
I'll
saving
tell you what,
lives.
from that picture, there's plenty of fire out there
Now, how
for
about
everybody.
Jamie, what about the colors in that photo? I mean, do you see that much at all out there?
Well, that's where you get the black smoke, which is telling me there's some incomplete combustion there.
Right.
I spent my last 11 years as a arson investigator at Tampa
Right.
Fire. So these pictures tell you a lot of what's going on in the fire. Where there's plenty of fire. I remember the news footage of that fire from Orlando, the hotel, and there was I believe it was a common attic, and the fire just raced its way all the way through there. Yeah, it was nothing to stop it. So a lot of fire.
What I found compelling about that photograph when Steve showed it to me was it almost looked like, wow, he's a little close to such an active fire.
Yes.
How did he not know that there might not have been some ammunition in there,
You never
something
know.
combustible that would
Come back.
blowback.
You never know. The good thing it was burning freely, which is a good sign. I've been to some fires back in the old days where everybody saw the movie Backdraft.
Sure.
And I've been to some house fires. We had one years ago on Fremont Street off of Cass that you could actually hear the house trying to breathe. It was a wood frame house. You could actually see the walls moving, and you hear the house chugging to try to get some oxygen. And it was pumping out that gray-yellow smoke, which is typical signs of a backdraft.
Wow.
And it was pretty impressive to hear this old house creaking and just looking for oxygen.
Trying to get air.
Trying to get air.
That's interesting.
Jamie,
that's spooky.
I don't know what's more fascinating, partner. Listening to you talk about food or talk about fire. But one thing is for sure, the passion is there, my man. The passion is there.
You lived it for 26 years like I did.
And thank you for sharing that with us. We're going to be doing a show a little bit in the season, talking all things Tampa Fire tonight. But, we have to honor also our Tampa police officers. And we found this picture while we were looking through photographs, preparing for the show. And to be honest with you, we'd like to know who these gentlemen are. Now, we know, because this is only 1958, I'm guessing that these guys here could probably be about our dad's ages.
Could be someone's very well be. Father, right.
Thinking about
Uncle.
it, they might still be with us. If you're out there and you're looking at this photograph going, hey, I think I know that guy, we'd like to hear from you. And bear in mind that somewhere later in the season, we're going to be doing a show to honor our Tampa Police Department veterans also. And this picture we've shown before on the Tampa Native Show. This is near and dear to our heart because the gentleman there in the middle is a gentleman by the name of Manny DeCastro. Famous in circles of Ybor City and West Tampa. The legend has it that Manny was actually, Steve, he wasn't really a full-fledged
He was a self-appointed truant officer.
Self-appointed, how
With
do
a
you
gun.
like that?
With a gun.
Self-appointed truant officer with a sidearm, somewhat of a vigilante, if you will. And but Manny was an affectionate and endearing spirit. And the legend has it that he never remembered anybody's name. But as he found you doing something you weren't supposed to be doing, he would come to you and he'd go, hey, boy.
I know your father.
I know your father. I know your mother. What's your name? And then he'd send you on your way home, But what I wanted to show, if we could bring up that picture just briefly for another quick moment. I was talking over it too long. The gentleman on the far right there is one of our show sponsors' father, and a gentleman that I went to high school with, a gentleman by the name of Anthony Gonzalez Sr. That's Anthony's father. And Anthony Gonzalez, if you're watching tonight, and we think you are, there's your pop. And he also mentioned the other gentleman in the photograph, and we have names for everybody but the gentleman without a hat on there. So again, we're going to be honoring our Tampa Police Department veterans here coming up real soon. We've got a caller. Let's take that. Stevie, call.
Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Caller, are you there? Hello?
Hello?
Caller, tell us your name and where you're calling from.
This is Big Mike from Orlando.
Big Mike, the big pumpkin. We've already got your number, so I don't have to write anything down.
We always have his number.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Big Mike, say hello to Jamie Urso.
Hey, man, Mr. Urso, yeah, a terrific show, on location stuff. What a great looking set. Everything. I got to tell you, I was thinking, did you remember Mr. Hector Noyes?
Absolutely.
He was my partner for a long time.
Talked about him just yesterday.
Is that right? And, you know, he went to Jefferson as well. I went to junior high school with him. What a great guy that guy is, huh?
Quite an accomplished artist, as I recall. Class of 1975.
Yeah, he's an artist, and he also had a karate school over there on Cypress, right next to Lincoln. You know, terrific, you know?
Down the street from Hector's and Eloisa's, I believe. In that little complex there.
Mr. Urso, is he still retired or what?
Hector retired from Tampa Fire, and he's now an investigator with the State Fire Marshal's Office.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, he was my partner for a while.
Give him our best, man, when you talk to him the next
Hector's a good
time.
man. Hector's a great man.
Yep, I remember him very well from our Jefferson days.
Mr. Miyagi used to
Terrific
call
guy.
him.
All right, man, I just want to call and say the show looks great. You guys look awesome. And Mr. Urso, thank you so much for sharing your stories. And if you, that lobster enchilada, if you'd like to send me, you know, a small sample of when you do it next time,
FedEx.
That cooking show is going to be good. I'm going to check it out.
But you better send Big Mike a good helping of it, because Big Mike enjoys his lobster enchilada. Oh yeah, Mike, before you go, we got a question of the day. Would you rather have been riding the running board, I should say the tailboard, or driving the tiller in the back of that hook and ladder? What do you say?
Ooh, that's a tough one, brother. I don't know if I can fit in that tiller.
Not these days, anyway. But
when you were a kid.
When you were
as long
young.
as it's a double wide, I'm there, brother. I'm riding that tiller.
Oh my goodness, riding the tiller. That's wonderful. Big Mike, you're one of our best fans, and you never fail us. And even from Orlando, you take time to give us a call. We love you, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
I love you too, man. How about that mayor calling, huh?
Oh, that was awesome.
You know, we had our fingers crossed. We reached out to him earlier today, and kudos to him, because he was in between engagements tonight. He took a minute out to make a call, and we were very grateful. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Mr.
you for
Mayor.
that.
That was awesome, man. I tell you, you guys are moving up, Weezy.
Uh-oh. Be careful. The boss is just offset. He's hearing all of this. Be careful.
With your help, Mike.
All right, man.
Thank you, Michael. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
That's wonderful.
Hey guys, I
That's
need
Big
to
Mike
give you
Patino.
3 more Belita numbers real quick.
Oh my goodness, we're going to have to do that here shortly.
We might have 2 drawings.
Feverishly fast.
Yeah, look at the time. Go ahead.
You ready? And it's also the 15-minute warning.
Presented to you, brought to you by the 15-minute girl. Okay, give us those numbers.
Okay, Terry R. Marino is number 25.
All right, don't go too fast, because we got to write all this down. Terry Marino.
25.
All right.
Dan Perez.
Oh, Big Dan. Okay.
58.
Dan Perez.
And Colette Cooey Newman.
Colette.
That's a familiar name.
It is.
She would like number 48.
Colette Newman would like 48.
I don't think we have 48.
We don't have 48.
And Nancy Clark wanted to know if number 23 was taken.
Nancy Clark would like 23. I don't have, even without my glasses, I can see that it's okay. It's available.
Okay.
23?
23, that's Nancy Clark. Wow, we would just like to say before we get to the Bolita drawing here, which we're going to do in just a moment, because we've got a real special show close for you tonight, and we're coming right up on it.
It's very special.
Gosh, to all of our viewers tonight, thank you.
Thank you very
you really
much.
made it a special evening.
This is a world's record on Bolita numbers.
I think you're right.
I'm going to frame these 2 documents tonight, because even though the handwriting is
You want to frame mine?
like my BFF Steve Canella over here, but listen, we've never had this many callers before.
No.
Oh, I should say we've never had this many Bolita numbers. Yeah, we've had the callers. We've had more callers, but probably none as special as the mayor tonight. All right, shall we get to the Bolita drawing?
I say yes.
Because
Let's do it.
There are probably some guys here that.
Are we going to have Jamie? He's going to draw.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
This is all on you.
Are we going to cut or draw?
Yeah, no, we're going to draw. We're going to draw because
he knows.
Jamie knows the history.
I know plenty about that.
There you go. We'll let you draw 2 because we've got 2 items to give away tonight.
I'm going to look at your numbers.
One at a time, or just take both of them out?
One at a time.
Okay.
And it's closest to without going over. Stevie, be careful.
Oh, I know. This is.
Because I always have a problem with this. Yes.
Okay. Number is 28.
28. I thought we had 28 on the money.
I need a spreadsheet.
28. That's my daughter.
That's Alexis.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Isn't that amazing?
All right. Be
That's
careful.
a coincidence.
Alexis.
Coincidence.
It's all legal, folks.
Yep.
We promise.
Inside job. Inside job. I can hear them screaming already.
Disclaimer.
All I can tell you is,
I pull out number
remember, you've got
21.
another daughter.
I know.
I'm going straight to the casino.
All right, look.
Hey, I'm going with you.
Mix it up there, Stevie. Mix it up. Shake it around. Mix that
Here we
thing.
go.
All right, here we go.
You got
You
it.
pull out 21.
We're all going to the casino.
I'll go.
Drinks on Jamie.
Take the fire engine.
Drinks on Jamie. Oh, my goodness. Make me nervous.
Number 5.
Lucky number 5. We have a 5?
Somebody, well, maybe not.
I don't remember number 5. You're going to have to
Highest
figure
without
out.
going over.
Without going over.
So under 5. So we have a 3.
Yep. We don't have a 4.
Okay, so it looks like
Deborah Fernandez.
Deborah Fernandez. There
Deborah
you go.
Fernandez. And we struggled to get your number, Deborah, because
we
we didn't have it, so
We had-
that's a lucky sign.
we had to work
your
hard.
number. Pretty good stuff. Oh, tell him. Show, watch this. Show him what he's won, Johnny. Here we go. Donated by the Tampa.
How about that?
Yeah,
Station
this
number
is pretty
1.
cool. Station number 1.
That is cool.
Cool.
Look at
This
that.
one
Oh,
we'll
wow.
give away. Let's see, this one there's 2. So we'll do. This is a big house. This is cool. I want one of these
That's really
myself. I
nice.
got to be honest with you. And we have another one as well.
We do.
Yep, this one's a little bit different if I'm not mistaken. This one is the Tampa Firefighters Museum. I'll turn it around for you so you can see it there, Alex.
Oh, look at
Nice
that.
shirts.
Isn't that
Like
cool?
that.
So
With the
we'll let you
logo.
pick one for Alexis, and then we'll give the other one
Okay.
to Deborah.
nice.
How's
Sounds
that?
good.
Very
Sounds
nice.
great.
Excellent, excellent stuff. And tonight's sponsor of the week, ladies and gentlemen, I'll show you the shirt just so you see I'm not rigging this, was Frank Cueto, bail bondsman, because when you're in jail,
Call 221 bail.
thank you, okay. All right, we're going to throw it back into the pond because this is not a keeper this week. Nobody gets Frank Cueto. We'll have to wait till next week. So we've got one more video to present. And this is kind of a special, okay, can I set this up? Give me just a second, bear with me, Jamie. Since I was 5 years old, and I went to the fire station on Henderson Boulevard by Grady Elementary School, I've always wanted to slide down this pole. Never having had the opportunity to, because I was never invited to, yesterday I took full liberty. Now, I didn't come down the pole like Jamie described himself coming down the pole half asleep and waking up on the bottom. It's kind of a slow descent, but nonetheless.
And listen carefully, too.
Please, turn up the volume on
Turn
your
up the volume,
speakers.
because you hear some squeaks on the way down.
And enjoy this. It's about 45, 49 seconds worth of video. Enjoy this.
It's very funny.
Wow, that was thrilling. As you can imagine, this was the quickest way to get from the top floor down to the trucks and the carts. And you know what? There are still 4 to 5 fire stations that still use these poles today. And what you've just seen, Tampa, is the completion of one check off my bucket list. I want to thank Mike Remetta for being so gracious today and opening up the doors here and showing us around. This has been one wonderful exhibit. If you're here in Tampa and you've got an opportunity, come see the Firefighters Museum. It's well worth the trip. On behalf of the 15-Minute Girl, my BFF Steve Cannella, I'm Mario Nunez saying, salute and happy days. We love you, Tampa, and thank you, Tampa firefighters, for all you do for us. How about that? And how about this? Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a privilege and a pleasure to be with you this evening. We have the gentlemen here that occupy the building across the street. These are active Tampa firefighters that came over here graciously. Captain Remetta, thank you so much for being here with us, gentlemen.
Thank you, guys.
for all you do. We certainly appreciate it. It's been an honor to be here with you, with my stablemate, Jamie Urso, retired Tampa firefighter, Steve Cannella, co-host off camera, the 15-Minute Girl. Until we see you again next week, gentlemen, ready? Salute and happy days. We love you, Tampa, and we'll see you next week.
Back when we were younger, and everything seemed new. We used to have a lot of fun, yes we did, no matter what we do. Sleeping days, long summer nights, going anywhere we pleased. This love I've always called my own, a love that I've always known. The city that I call my home, the home from which I never roam. This love affair was meant to be. Oh, well, I love her and she loves me. Yes, I remember Tampa. She remembers me.